Hello. Okay, I wanted to go over a couple of things with you. So yesterday I showed you the Fridge Smart series that I absolutely love. Now my next most used item would be this, okay? This is called a Crystal Wave container or a Crystal Wave Plus. This is, if you worked with me like Kelly, she would see this in my bag many days. So the cool thing about this is I have one that's totally just empty and round. I love if I'm taking leftover pasta or something like that, I put it in there. I also have one that is divided. Let's say you have some leftover pork chops, some leftover green beans, and then you want to put some cucumbers in here. So these are great for the microwave. I'm sure you've had the experience where you went to the microwave at work and someone had made a mess and not cleaned it up, or maybe you were that unlucky person and you wound up wasting your lunch cleaning it. These are great because with all Tupperware, you know that the lids go on securely. You always hear that nice connection. So you can leave your lid on your item and pop this vent open, okay? So see that? Now, the old ones many years ago, you had to actually remove something. This pops up. And the great thing is, if you happen to lose this piece, which sometimes happens, they're very cheap to replace, and we use them in a lot of different things. Now, I love some of these because they're so versatile and they're so tough. So like if you take something cold, you don't want to microwave that, you just remove this. Or you can remove it all together and have 3 things that you need to heat up. There's also a round one that I have on order that's nice and big. And then in the winter, I love to take the soup one. And it also has this, okay? So it's made out of plastic. It's good sturdy plastic. And of course, like the rest of your Tupperware, it's not gonna leak in your lunch bag. Now, one thing I wanna mention with these is when you are reheating your food, many of us didn't know this before, but when you are reheating your food, you should not be cooking at 100%. Now, it's not gonna hurt anything if you do, because most of us rush into the lunchroom and heat our stuff and go on. But what happens is sometimes you get those melty marks or the white stains or imperfections, or if you have spaghetti, you may get a reddish stain. So really, you should reheat at 70%. It's not gonna hurt you, it's not gonna release chemicals because they're chemical free. But if you wanna keep your Tupperware looking pretty and technically do it the right way, you wanna reheat at 70%. One thing that's really neat about the design of this is, I don't know if you can see, but it's designed so that these little bumpies lift it up and the microwave heat can go under to sort of heat it evenly. We have similar items. These are called the Vent and Serve. And these come in a lot of different shapes as well. You can get ovals, you can get these round ones like I have, and you can get rectangles. This one is the same kind of concept, but it's a little bit of a harder plastic. And with this one, you just pull the vent lid up. So instead of snapping it, you just pull it up. It's called the Vent and Serve. Now, one thing to point out is I know some people like to prep food and freeze it. You can freeze the Vent and Serve. It is the type of plastic that can be frozen. But please do not freeze your Crystal Wave. It's not gonna hurt anything, but if you happen to drop it and it cracks, that's not covered because it's not freezer, not approved for the freezer. So these are some of my most favorite items. We have some of these on sale right now. And these, I'm gonna talk a little bit later in another video about the possibility of becoming a consultant with Tupperware. These actually come in your kit, a set of 3. You get all sorts of things, but we'll talk about that later. If you'd like to look at the Crystal Wave, it's on pages 52 and 53 of the catalog, which you can access online. And I also have these. The Vent and Serve are over here on page 55. So you can access this online. If there's anybody who is just like desperately in need of a book, I can send you one. I'm happy to do that with your order. I'm old school, I like catalogs. But anyway, I just wanted you to see some of my other favorite items, things that we actually use. And like I said, they are so versatile and strong. I've had this one for probably, I would say about 9 or 10 years. So I got it when I first started teaching at Central, so many moons ago. They are well loved and they are still completely functional. So take care, have a good night.